No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. These are very, very reassuring words. When we take them to heart, what it does, it releases us from striving so that we're not seeking for a future goal. So it brings us to a deeper presence of what it is that we're really, really seeking. And instead of striving, we can relax. But the relaxing isn't a complacency, it's more of a bringing into focus what it is that is the true intention. So it becomes more realistic, and you become more aware of what it is that really is happening in your heart and mind. So Jesus says in the Course, in the text of the Course, enlightenment is not a change at all, it's a recognition. So the fact is that we are already realized beings. We already self-realized, we've always been self-realized, and we always will be self-realized. We just don't realize it. So it's a remembering of what it is that is already here and now. And there's no striving in that, but there could be a fulcrum, if you like, of the desire, and that will bring about a true willingness within us to actually let go, which is all that's required, that we allow ourselves to relax into what it is that we already are. So the thing is that it's a choice. This is we come to the realization that the power that we have is a choice. And that power, that choice is now. Obviously it can't be in the future because there is none. And there is no past. So it can only ever happen now. We have this dream sometimes, this fantasy that we could have a perfect, fully enlightened being that clicked his fingers in front of us and then suddenly we awaken. It's a lovely dream. But it's not such a fantasy when you consider the fact that there actually is no external world. And so the master is within us. We are the master. And that click represents that power of choice that we have. Not a choice of mind in the sense that I choose this or rather than that. It's a choice of heart. The heart is the seat of choice. And so it's the desire in the heart that brings about the choice. And when the desire for what it is that we truly want, what we really are, is greater than what it is that we've constructed, the image, the illusion of ourselves, then that is the moment. That is the holy instant. That is the instant of success. The ultimate simplicity of this is beyond recognition. The ultimate simplicity is that not that this can happen, but actually that it already has happened. But somehow we've managed to cover it up. If you think about this seriously, if there's no past and no future and there's only now, and it can only ever happen now, it has to have already happened. But somehow we managed to cover it up. And we cover it up for various reasons. We, first of all, feel that we're not worthy. or that we don't want to lose what it is we've constructed. But there's a more salient reason why we do this, and it's to do with the original reason why we came into form in the first place. We are created as gods. Is it not said in your scripture, you are all gods? But we have to come to a full realization of that. We have to come to a full conscious awareness of what it is we are. And so we come into form in order to gain a reflection of what it is we are, that we might be able to see, this is what I am. This was the purpose of coming into form. We have to have the experience of seeing what it is we are to realize what we are, and then the experience then is done its work. But actually that's not what happened in truth. What really happened is we went through this fall from grace where we actually decided we liked the experience so much we wanted to stay in it. It's a crazy idea, but that's what happened. And this is what is happening now when we cover up that holy instant, because it's a little bit like in Aesop's fable where the dog is walking across the water, walking across the stream, and he sees a reflection in the water, and he's carrying this bone. He drops the bone, the real bone, for the reflection. This is really what we've done, and this is what we're doing. We don't want the actual reality of what we are. We want the experience. It's like Ramana Maharishi put this very well. He said, you don't want to be chocolate, you want to taste chocolate. Describes the idea perfectly, actually. So this holy instant is teaching us that we are beings and that we don't need an experience in perception. We just need to allow ourselves to recognize this is what I am. And in this moment, that's the reality that has always been. It's just an acceptance then. Acceptance is all that can be asked of us. So, among other things, Jesus says that now is the time. It can't be any other time. Now is the time when the parting of you and the ego must be made complete. And it's made complete when we reach this point, when we allow ourselves to recognize what it is that we are in that instant of success and then maintain it. That's called enlightenment. When we manage to actually stay there instead of covering it up, to relish the experience that we, by the way, cover up as well. So, ironically, what really brings that to a head is when it's not the experience of joy and happiness at knowing what it is that is real. It's the pain and the realization of what it is that we did when we decided to create our own autonomy. In other words, the grievance. The grievance is what we have against ourselves. And somehow, in this world of form, in this lifetime, we managed to cover that. We managed to cope with it. We have the grievance, but we compensate in many ways. And we cope with that grievance. But when that desire for what it is that you are is greater, as I said before, than the actual holding on to what it is that you created or made up, then that fulcrum of experience is reflected in the grievance. The grievance is the resistance. And so the grievance also comes to a peak experience. And that's an experience of sheer hell, fear and guilt and all this stuff that we've been sitting on under that dark cornerstone comes to the surface in fullness. And if we're able to stay in that, to ride it, to run, to allow ourselves to be in that without resistance, in other words, to forgive ourselves completely, then we're free. Our freedom comes from our self-relinquishment. That is the moment of surrender. That is the moment when you finally let go of the needing to keep it together. That's the moment of release. That's the holy instance of success. Again, it's ironic that what we're truly desiring is a state of desirelessness, which is the peace of God. And that desire for the peace of God has to come to completion. It has to come to the absolute fullness within us. And alongside that fullness of the desire for peace is the realization of what it is that we've done. And the forgiveness of that is your liberation from all suffering. That is your enlightenment. Thank you.